What's up, y'all? I'm Mike, the Money Motivator. Today in this video, I'm going to compare Apple stock versus Amazon stock. If you're new to my channel, make sure you like and subscribe. I talk money and finance every week here on this channel. So as far as similarities, both Apple and Amazon, they do amazing with their services. Amazon has Amazon Prime subscriptions, Blink subscription, Prime streaming service. Apple has Apple TV, Apple Pay, the App Store. They're both doing very, very good with services. While we on the topic, I'll start with Apple. Here's what Tim Cook had to say in Apple's earnings call.
And set all-time revenue records across a number of categories, including cloud and payment services. All told, Apple now has more than 935 million paid subscriptions. Apple has also just begun a historic 10-year partnership with Major League Soccer. Just yesterday, we launched MLS Season Pass, which will give fans in more than 100 countries access to every live MLS regular season game.
That was Apple's earnings call. Now let's take a look at Apple's estimates. When you value in a company, it's very important that if they're making estimates, that they're beating their estimates or meeting expectations. All right, now this is where I'm going to make the first comparison. Let's look at Apple's estimates and let's look at Amazon's estimates. As you can see, it looks like Apple's doing a little better in regards to the estimates. We'll give Apple a 1 point on that one. So outside of them having very good business models and streaming services and all of that stuff, let's find out what's really important and let's dig into both of their financials. First thing I'm going to look at in their financials is the intrinsic value. So I calculated the intrinsic value for both companies using a discounted cash flow model. Calculating the intrinsic value for Apple is 175. The current stock price of Apple is 150. So Apple is slightly undervalued, which is good. You want to purchase the stock at a lower value than what it's worth. According to analyst estimates on Robinhood, a great intrinsic value for Apple is 150. So I'll calculate it 175. Analysts say 150. It's right around a fair value at its current price. Now let's look into Amazon's intrinsic value. I calculated Amazon's intrinsic value to be $132 per share. According to analyst estimates on Robinhood, a fair price for Amazon is $137. Because Amazon's share price is $103, I'm gonna have to give Amazon that point on the intrinsic value. Amazon looks like it's a little more undervalued than Apple is in regards to the intrinsic value. Next very important metric that I checked is the PE ratio. The PE ratio is gonna let you know the price to earnings value in regards to the stock. Apple's PE ratio is currently 28.14. Amazon PE ratio is currently 134. That's showing me a very bad sign in regards to Amazon. Seems like Amazon is very overpriced in that area, not making as much profit as Apple is. So speaking of profit, I also calculated both companies' gross profit margins. The higher the gross profit margin is, the better. Apple's gross profit margin is 43%. Amazon's gross profit margin is only 13%. Gonna have to get with Apple on that one. Apple seems like they're making a lot more profit than Amazon is. Looking at the financials, they look like they're both currently undervalued. Apple's PE ratio is right around where it needs to be. Amazon's PE ratio is way too high. Also with the gross profit margins, Apple is making way more profits than Amazon. Amazon, they significantly advanced their business, but they're paying too much to maintain the business, which makes a lot of sense because when I first looked into Amazon, I thought Amazon was probably a better company than Apple because they have so many arms stretched out everywhere. Amazon seemed like they were taking over the world, but because they're spending so much money in operation expenses, they're not making a lot of profit. There is a possibility in the future that Amazon can outgrow Apple. I don't see it being in the near future. Apple is the better company that I'm going with today. I do think Apple is a buy and hold for your portfolio. I own Apple in my own portfolio. So does Warren Buffett. Apple does have a loyal customer base. As an Apple consumer myself, in my household, we all have Apple phones, AirPods, Beats, Apple Music, Apple Pay. Apple is definitely the better company out of the two. I have Apple in my personal portfolio, and I will keep buying at this price, at the price next year, at the price 5 years going forward. Amazon does have an earnings call coming up. I do expect them to mention a lot of layoffs and cost cuts in their company. I'm definitely going with Apple on this. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe. I will be back next week. Thank you.